9 consecutive home wins for the Warriors, and this one was a bit of a nail-biter. Welcome to Tough Talk Live, presented by FitAid. FitAid has that clean caffeine, which comes from green tea. Monte, as we make sense of this game, there are 2 storylines that emerged for me. By the way, Monte Poole, Kerith, Burke, you know who this man is. It's Jordan Poole kind of busting out of a little 3-point slump, and then it's Draymond actually having the most important 3 of the game. But I want to start with Poole because I asked him, you know, we just heard from him at practice yesterday. He said sometimes the shots don't go in, but they went in this game. I was like, what was different for you? He said, nothing. I keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I think physically and mechanically, I think it's the same thing. I don't think he's, you know, his shot's not have a sudden hitch or anything. I think it's just that, like you said, sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. But I think mentally, I think there are times when he's just more locked in than other times. And I think tonight, in the second quarter, the Warriors kind of got it going with playing really good defense, and he got some points first quarter, late first, early second, and it kind of carried over. So that first quarter was a mess in many ways. I mean, the fouls, Steph going to the bench with the fouls, Wiggins going to the bench with fouls.
Yeah.
And the rotation was automatically turned into a mess. But Jordan kind of saved him. And so to see him come out tonight and shoot the way he has, you know, there's been some grumbling about his 3-point shooting. It's not been good.
Yeah.
But tonight, it looked like it was on. He took a couple of shots that were kind of wild and crazy, but.
Well, but he made a few of those too. Like, he did heat check a little bit. He had 7 threes in this game. That is his season high, one off his career high. Raced out to 14 points. He was 4 of 7 early. I wonder if Steph's foul trouble, maybe, did that impact Jordan, thinking like, okay, we need something from somebody if this is going to be a frustrated game for Steph?
Yeah, I mean, and Steph did not play well tonight. I mean, you know, he made some shots. He's always going to make some shots, but I mean, he took some shots that were kind of like, whoa, what are you doing? And he threw some passes that were kind of like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yep.
But Jordan, yeah, I think coming into the game, he came into the game because Steph went out early, and I think, you know, in his mind, he probably says, okay, I got to get us going.
Yeah.
And he did. So that's what I'm saying. I think physically he does the same thing, but mentally, I think tonight, he got locked in early, and he stayed pretty much locked in all night with his shot.
Yeah, well, after he went 1 of 6 in that Mavs game, maybe he needed a game like this. Maybe he's hearing some of the chatters. Players always say they don't listen to what's being said about them, but I think they know. So I don't know if this was a stick-it-to-him game or what, or if it was just a happenstance game. But let's take a look at his 7th 3, because he was really feeling himself in this one. And why not, right? If you're Jordan Poole, why not? Heat check a little bit. He was, what did it end up being? 7 of 13. There's the one. That was a contested 3 from way out.
Wait for it.
Hang on, turn around.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Wait.
Wait for it.
I know what we're waiting for.
Yeah. Wait for it. Here we go.
You guys remember this at home
Here we go.
too.
Here we
There
go.
it
Here
was.
we go. There it is.
Yeah. Okay, that's when the tongue comes out. So he had 30 points in this one. As you look at the rest of the box score, 1 assist. Interesting. I think sometimes
After
he
9 last game.
Listen, and I'm not bringing this up to poke fun at him. I mean, you know that he'll facilitate for teammates. You know that he enjoys that. You know that he's a great passer.
Yes.
But sometimes I feel like Jordan Poole just wants to go out in a game and focus on one thing.
Yeah. Well, he'll tell you he's a scorer.
Yeah.
That's what he know. But last game he didn't shoot much, and he had 9 assists, so he can do that too. But I think it was welcome to see him making the shots, but it was just as welcome, I think, for the fans here who maybe have been wondering, to see him with a little swag.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
He's
because
best with a little swag.
You know, we were talking about this, and you know, for the first few weeks of the season, people were like, Jordan doesn't seem to have his same swag he had, you know, and we don't see him smiling and all these things.
The punch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So
yeah.
for fans who are kind of like still wondering, but the last few games, I've kind of seen it a little bit more, and he looks fine to me. I mean, and so, but yeah, seeing him make those shots, and then, you know, show off a little bit, you know, kind of,
Sure.
dip a little bit. That is a good sight if you're a Warriors fan, because it means that he's in the groove, he's feeling good, mentally, physically, he's engaged.
Okay, if you see Jordan Poole's tongue, that's a good thing. We will talk about Draymond. We definitely need to talk about Draymond, but Steph Curry just sat down at the podium. Let's hear it from Steph.
How good are you feeling when Draymond kind of lines up that 3 with, I don't know, it was about 2 minutes left or so?
I mean, he's been shooting it in terms of when he's open, shooting with confidence, and that was a big shot. Consider how the game was flowing down the stretch, and we needed it. Everything he was doing on the defensive end was, I mean, Draymond-esque, but it was unbelievable. And turned it into some offensive success for us and a big shot. It was huge. And we want to see more of it because he's capable.
Do the carry and travel calls that have been called this season, do they make any sense to you?
Yeah. Well, we talked about last game, just the consistency of it. It seemed very consistent tonight. I had bone to pick with them. They missed one carry. But all the ones they did call were pretty clear travels and not much to argue about. Just, make the adjustments based on, how the game is called. And we're talented enough to do that. But, again, it's just making sure it's consistent on both sides and game after game so that you have a nice rhythm to it and you have an understanding of what's being focused on those calls.
What's the difference between Jordan on a night like this, maybe compared to like another night where he struggles? Is it really just a matter of, shots are going in or not going in, or is there like an extra gear that he gets into when he's able to have like a big scoring night like this?
He talked about it. I think I saw him. It was at the practice yesterday or something. Confidence is always there. It's just a matter of sticking with it through some of the rough patches that you have that every shooter has. I think the only biggest difference is just aggressiveness. Like, look for your shot. Don't be passive out there. Just find ways to, create space, make the game simple. And if you have a shot, take it. Don't think about what the box score says. Don't think about what your percentage is. You think about the reps you put in, you shoot the ball, and we all live with it. And it's nice to hear him say something similar to that and then, be rewarded in a game like tonight. But that's the ebb and flow of the season. Got to approach the game the same way no matter whether you're hot, cold, or streaky, as he says.
I'll ask Raymond after, but it feels like you guys win like 400% of the time when Draymond makes multiple three-pointers. Was it a different emphasis going into this season as far as him letting it fly? Do you see anything different or just kind of less hesitation and a lot of confidence there?
I mean, I don't know how many threes you shoot in a game. It's probably not that many, but it's just, again, confidence. Picking and choosing your spots, whether he wants to play make when he's open, depending on how people guard him. He gets downhill. He had 10 assists tonight, so he's always going to be a playmaker. But when you have an opportunity to stretch the defense out, make them pay for, leaving you out there, we want him to take those open ones. And he has to have the confidence like he did tonight to shoot them. And it's great to see because I think he feeds off that energy when he makes one early or when he makes one late. Doesn't really matter. But I think when one goes in, it's definitely a good vibe for everybody.
Speaking of feeding off energy, how much fun was that long pass to him with the layup? Seemed like you guys were really loving it. He had high fives to everybody.
It was like a classic Sam Darnold to DJ Moore connection. Nobody's ever said that ever. Ever. And I'm using that one.
So, you got your sixth foul wiped off with a challenge late. Is that like a lesson on why it's like wise to save the challenge even if you guys don't like a second quarter call or something like that?
I mean, I don't know how the coaching staff, what rules they put in terms of how you make those decisions because you have to make them quick. You got guys behind the bench looking at the monitors trying to make that assessment. When you have it late and it's a play like that, that's a no-brainer. But depending on how the momentum is early in the game or if, undeserved points are going on the board, you might want to, take that chance knowing it could change momentum early and you won't necessarily need it late, but it is nice to have. They do need to change that rule, though, because earlier there's a couple questionable ones, and if you challenge it and you are successful, like you shouldn't be penalized Yeah, 100%. I don't understand that. I know they want to speed the game up and not have 800 challenges, but you also don't want to have to pick and choose whether you know something's blatant or not, whether the challenge is necessary to keep it or waste it at that point.
Steph, beyond your rebounding numbers, as we were talking about earlier, how important is it for the guards on this team, whether it's you, Clay, whomever, Dante, to help with rebounding? I mean, you guys aren't the biggest team, obviously, in the league. How much does that sort of feed into what you do?
It's important because when we're playing at our best and when we're defending at our best, we're not fouling. So the make or miss, it keeps the game going. But then on the misses, you can turn that into easy offense where whoever gets the rebound, everybody else is running. And like you said, we're not the biggest team, but we can outrun a lot of people, a lot of other teams in that respect. So you give up one shot, whoever gets it go, we have an advantage, and you got the shooters, space on the floor in transition. You got a playmaker come down the middle. We're usually tough to stop at that point. So it's important for everybody to help Draymond and Loon down there. Jamaica when he comes in, it's not just on them to put bodies on guys. Like, it has to be all five. And it fuels our offense, especially when you're getting stops.
So while we were listening to Steph, I was reviewing some of the comments on YouTube, and I love this one from Flow State. They say, Dre with the 3 and Steph with the block in crunch time. It's opposite day. That Draymond 3 was the shot of the game. It was a 1-point game. He dialed it up.
Yep.
It changed the momentum in a scary moment when the Warriors went from a 19-point lead to a 1-point lead.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. And to see Draymond line it up like that, I mean, I don't know. I think when I see him get a minute to take a breath and let it go, I tend to think they're going to go in these days, and so, but at the same time, Steph's, that little block on DeMar DeRozan,
Yes.
that was nice. I mean, coming from behind that little side swipe block there, that was huge too, because DeMar DeRozan is a mid-range wizard. I mean, he makes shots from 10, 12, 14 feet, and he was right there. So, I mean, if DeMar gets an open look, it's probably going down, so Steph may have saved a couple of points right there.
Looney had a block too. The Warriors got the stops, and then Draymond had that big 3. And Steve Kerr has explained that Draymond is looking phenomenal lately. He had a few more compliments from Dre, for Dre, that is. Take a listen.
Great to see Draymond making some threes, but I just like the way he's playing in general. I mean, he's been phenomenal. He's having an all-star season, just so good defensively and playing with such great energy. He's doing a phenomenal job of staying physically strong and healthy. He's working out every day. You can see it. I think he looks lean and strong, and he's just playing at a really high level.
So a few numbers for Draymond. 1 rebound off a triple-double, 13, 9, and 10. 5th time with 10 or more assists. He's leading the team in assists. And you see the way that he's locked in. You see the way that he's the crux of a lot of the good things happening for the Warriors right now. Yeah, and the first few weeks of the season, he was not leading the team in assists. It was Steph for a while there. And now, but Draymond's role has changed a little bit. He's getting in second-unit minutes, which, in his case, means distribute mostly. Yeah. Jordan Poole, Dante DiVincenzo, Wiggins, whoever, distribute the ball, and he's getting buckets that way, getting assists that way. But also, there was one game a couple of games ago where he had 7 assists in the first quarter. So he's lining guys up and getting guys organized. And like Steve said, I mean, he is playing at a very high level right now, offensively and defensively. He's shooting like 60% from the field, which for Draymond is like crazy. Yeah. And his threes are going in at he's shooting between 35 and 40%, which you take that every single year. Yeah. And it's much better than what he's been doing. I mean, I always thought he could make the shot, but his numbers the past few years have not been good. This year, he's taking them and he's making a lot of them. Let Draymond space the floor. Let him yell at a defender's face. We've got a few more pieces. We need to show you some other pieces of video Green, too. Stretch 4. Because it wasn't just his 3-point shooting. But take a look at this, because he ends up with his energy. He's going to save. Wait a minute. There it is. This Steph pass, I'm going to call that bad, okay? But Draymond saved it. And then look at that finish across the body and one. Yes. Okay? And one. Huge.
That was the Sam Darnold pass with the Carolina Panthers that Steph made. I mean, shouting out his favorite football team.
Yes.
But Draymond did save him. I mean,
Yes.
that was a case where the ball was there. You might say in the NFL they say he threw him open. You know,
Threw him open.
because Draymond was
Yeah.
kind of covered, but I guess Steph had faith, and the faith was rewarded.
Yeah, but then that other clip is how quickly Draymond is getting the ball across the half-court line, having those hockey assists, you know, getting it to the guy who gets it to the guy. Draymond just always knows where everybody should be on the floor, and he's guiding that. He communicates or barks very well.
Yeah, he does that, but you know, he also does he does a lot of things that just smart basketball players do, and that is like a lot of guys will dribble when they shouldn't. Draymond doesn't do that. You know, when he knows he shouldn't dribble, he doesn't dribble. He goes straight up with it. You know, he pump fakes when he needs to pump fake, and so he just does the things that tell you he's thinking the game at all times.
Yep.
And that cannot be said of everybody.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why he has such value for this team.
All right, well, we got to hear from the guy who hit the biggest shot of the game, Draymond Green.
You're 7-12 from 3 in the last 8 games. Obviously, you hit the big one late. Just how good is the shot feeling right now?
It feels really good. You know, really just want to keep stepping in, taking it with confidence when I'm open. But it feels great. My game feels great. My touch feels good, so I feel like I'm in a really good space. It's just, you know, important to keep taking it when it's there.
When on that possession are you thinking, like, I'm going to have to let this go?
Well, I was preparing for the entire possession. I knew I would end up open. And so it's just a matter of if the ball was going to find me or not. So I was prepared that whole possession. If I caught it, I was shooting it. And, you know, it came to me. Clock running down. Just took it, and it went in. Lost.
Draymond, Steph's averaging 6.9 rebounds, more than everybody except Looney, and he's pretty close to Looney. How practical or how important is that to your success? And why do you think? I mean, he's always been a pretty good rebounder, but the numbers has jumped significantly this year. Why do you think that is?
He stole my triple-double. No, he, like you said, he's always been a very good rebounder, and I think some of that is also, you know, three-pointers keep going up and up, and you know he's very good at coming back to that elbow area and cleaning up the rebounds, and it's good for our offense because when he gets the rebound at that elbow area and he starts to push it in transition, as we all know, the whole defense is going to line up, so it opens the floor up for other guys in transition and get some easy stuff going.
You mentioned that your touch feels good this year. Is there anything you can attribute to that?
Yeah. I mean, over the last couple of years, I've put a ton of time in the summer with Travis. Every day, every workout, we work on touch. No matter what the focus of that workout is going to be, every single day we work on it. And, you know, Jacob Rubin, same thing. Every time we're on the court, we work on touch. And, you know, you just – after you put so much work in, you just get more and more confidence in it. And I think the more confidence you can play with, especially in this league, you give yourself a much better chance at being successful.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by FitAid, the #1 post-workout recovery drink in America. Try now and visit drinkfitaid.com.
All right, friends, we see you on YouTube. Rebel to Sound said, not a pretty win, but we'll take it. The Warriors are above 500. They're 12-11. All right. Doesn't have to be pretty, does it?
No, it doesn't. And it was ugly in the first quarter. You know, when you see the two stars go down with 2 fouls each, get out of the game early. And it was ugly at times in the second half when you saw the 19-point lead go down to 1.
Whew.
But,
Steph almost fouled out, too.
Yeah.
I'm glad they reviewed that.
Very close. But, you know, I
that.
thought the best thing that happened for this team tonight was what happened in the second quarter. First quarter, you know, they had 9 fouls in the first quarter, sent the Bulls to the line for 12 times. Chicago shot 62% from the field in the first quarter. Second quarter, 34-6 is what they shot.
Okay.
2 free throws for the whole quarter.
Yes.
The Warriors had 2 fouls in the whole quarter. What has Steve Kerr been preaching? defend without fouling.
Correct.
That second quarter is what turned the game in their favor.
Yeah.
And got them a double-digit lead at halftime, and it gave them enough cushion to sustain that comeback that they helped the Bulls manage.
Yeah,
You know.
that was a 19-point second quarter for the Bulls.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's like, okay. I mean, you've been talking about let's play better defense. Let's play better defense. Second quarter, you did it. You gave it a lot of it back in the second half, but that second quarter was like, okay, it was enough against this team.
Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm looking at some of the other comments. One of them just made me laugh. But Basketball Giant saying, Dre out here looking like a Splash cousin. That's pretty great. And Jasmine Dawson says, I think Draymond was the one Steve Kerr was talking about at the beginning of the season. He just needed to get in basketball shape, and the team is playing better. Well, Draymond was on a minutes restriction.
Yeah, he was.
Coming
He
in,
was.
So, yeah.
Looks good now, though. I mean, he looks good. He's playing well, so, yeah.
Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, presented by FitAid. This is Monte. I'm Kerith. So in the Kerr answer that we heard about Draymond Green, or the compliments that is, he said maybe having an all-star season. Okay, that's interesting to consider.
Yeah.
Draymond postgame, okay, was talking about, I think we're ready to go on a run. Okay, so there are some good things happening here. But I do want to be that wet blanket and talk about some of the trouble spots, because the moments when I think the Warriors are poised to go on a run, you see the same things percolating underneath. Okay, we're talking about fouling, we're talking about traveling, we're talking about points off turnovers. Maybe even if they're being 2-3 happy at the finish. Let's put a pin in that one though. But there are some things that are undergirding these games that make me think, they're just not quite there.
They're not there. They're not there yet. And they won't be there until the defense becomes what it needs to be a contender. In the second quarter tonight, they did that. I mean, they held the Bulls to 34.6% from the field, 1 of 8 from 3, and they did not go foul crazy. They committed 9 fouls in the first quarter, 2 in the second.
Okay.
They gave the Bulls 12 free throws in the first quarter, 2 in the second.
You know, they talked about it in the quarter break.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? Those 2 free throws by the Bulls were by Andre Drummond, who you don't mind shooting free
Sure.
throws.
Take 'em,
He
sir.
missed them both.
Yeah, okay,
You know,
okay.
so it didn't hurt him at all. And that's what you look for. I mean, and that's the kind of quarter that quarter really, I think, sustained them over the course of this game. They got an 11-point lead at the half, and when the Bulls came back, largely with the help of the Warriors, they were able to hang on and hang on and hang on because they had enough cushion. Steve said he didn't think the game that was they were in control, but I thought that they were going to win the game all along. Even when the
Okay.
Bulls came back, I thought, they'll find a way, and they did.
Okay. What do you think about the traveling? I think it was 8 called in this game and 7 against the Mavs. Like, this is the players are like, what's happening here?
As long as they call them fair and square, I don't care.
Okay.
If guys travel, call them. But if you're going to call them on everybody who does it. Don't differentiate, this non-star is going to get called for travel, but the star, can get away with it. No, call it as it should be called, and I'm fine with it, and I don't think any coach would complain about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay. So
it's just me.
Fouling, traveling, points off turnovers, 3 happy at the finish.
27 points off turnovers tonight.
Ooh, that's too much.
Yes.
That lets your opponent back in the game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So that's an issue that they have had over the years, and their margin of error now is much thinner than it used to be.
Yeah.
So got to be
right.
careful.
All right, we know that was quick. Just wanted to touch on the trouble spots of this game. We'll take a look at what's coming down the road tomorrow, less than 24 hours away, when Dub Talk Live, presented by FitAid, continues. Thank you to the people letting me know they like my fit tonight. I appreciate it. Can Monte Poole get a little love here too? Come on here.
Give it up for the lady over here.
Come on.
She got on that black velvet.
All right. Hey,
it's not only a drink; it's also a fit.
What's in a black velvet?
I think black velvet is like a whiskey or something. I think there is a black velvet alcohol.
Black velvet.
Yes.
I'm trying to scan my college alcohol. I don't remember that one. It was like Jägermeister is black in color.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh, I don't remember the black velvet.
Nightmares.
Ugh.
Yes. No, you don't want to
All
go
right.
there.
All right. I do need to ask my producer how much time do we have in the next segment. I'm
gonna
just
guess
trying
like
to pick
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. Okay. All righty. Well, the Warriors get to do this back-to-back at home, where they have been very good. All right. Ray Barrios, I'm sorry, I can't roll my R's, says no defense, no ring.
That's right.
Yes.
That is exactly right.
Yes. Okay.
And tonight they played defense for 12 minutes. Really great defense for 12 minutes.
Out of 48?
Out of 48. And Steve said it after the game. He said,
Yeah.
you know, we got to put together a full 48-minute game.
Yeah.
Connect the whole game, which they had. But again, against this team on this night, that 12-minute quarter gave them a lead that held out the rest of the game.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
All right. Catherine says, hello, Kerith and Monte. Dustin says, we'll see if the defense can hold up on the road. There is a big road trip
coming up in about
you're
a week and a half.
It's going to be a test. It's going to be a big test. And so if Draymond is sensing we're going to go on the run, if he sees the pieces come together, defense will have to be a part of it.
It has to be. I mean, they cannot win games against good teams without playing good defense. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live. Tomorrow will be the second night of a back-to-back. The Warriors welcome the Rockets. The Warriors have been great at home. 9 consecutive wins. Perhaps they can get that up to 10, but you guys need to know that the Rockets are coming and feeling themselves a little bit. They beat the Suns in Phoenix tonight.
Yeah, but also I think young teams, when you win a game on the road against a really good team like that and you play the next night, tends to be a letdown.
A fall off the cliff?
And so if you're the Warriors, you want to be in their position where you have a back-to-back at home rather than the Rockets, who are traveling to San Francisco. And we'll probably get here sometime. We'll probably get here sometime around 1 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you're the Warriors, you take that. The question will be who Steve rests tomorrow, because on the road when they go back to backs, he might rest 3 or 4 or 5 guys. But at home, it's a little bit different, you know. And so I'd be surprised if Clay plays, but I would not be surprised if Steph plays, if Draymond plays. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I would say perhaps Clay would be the one who would sit. That's been the tradition
most
here.
likely.
And actually, when the Warriors were looking at that 19-point lead kind of late-ish in the game, I'm sure they were hoping
they
could, you know, maybe sit Clay,
the guys.
Draymond, sit the starters in that one. But no, needed them at the finish, and Draymond had to be on the floor for that
he did.
huge three-pointer.
No, you know, you want to have. When the Warriors were great, they always had games every year where they were able to sit guys in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They don't have that right now. That's, again, that margin of error is so thin that there will be a few of those games this year, but not many. And so far early this season, you're not seeing much.
There you go. Okay, so we'll be back here in less than 24 hours. We'll see what the Warriors have. They got their first road win against the Rockets. Now the Rockets coming to Chase Center, one of the toughest places to play in the league. All right, I'm going to chug some of this, so I'll be ready for that game tomorrow. Thank you, Fit Aid. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you on YouTube in just a moment. All right, we are back, my YouTube friends. Thank you very much. Otis says I'm more of a champagne guy myself. Okay.
Good man, Otis.
Yeah, the Warriors love the champagne.
Get that PJ.
Quite a taste in 4 championships.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And Otis does add, hopefully the Warriors don't overlook the Rockets tomorrow night. I don't think they will.
No.
Because they saw how quickly the Rockets came back in the game in Houston in that second quarter, which prompted them to make the changes in the second unit.
That's when Draymond entered the game with the second unit and opened that fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And ever since then, guess what Draymond's been doing?
Right.
Opening the second and fourth quarters.
So they remember the Rockets. And I think there's a lot of respect to Steven Silas. They really like him. They know the team
and
is
they
young.
also know they almost lost this one tonight. They almost gave this one away.
Right.
You know,
that's the best way to put it. Give it away.
Yeah,
and that's
there were times when, like, some of the shots they took, you know, it's like some of the passes they threw.
Yeah.
It was just one of those games where, I mean, and Steph, you know, he's a great player and having an MVP caliber year, but tonight he was not all on his game. You know, 6 turnovers.
Yeah.
You know, didn't shoot the ball great, but he made shots because he's Stephen Curry. But yeah, I just thought that tonight was one of those games where when you have your defense was great for 12 minutes, the other 36, but they managed to win because of those 12 minutes, and so that speaks to the value of defense.
So I actually didn't get to this in the show. I wish I had. When we were talking about our trouble spots, Steve Kerr once again saying this was a little bit of a pickup game.
It was.
And he was even direct with it. He said sometimes it felt mindless out there. It's like, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
no, some of those passes and some of those shots were like YOLO shots. Hey, throw it up. hey, let it go, let it fly.
You cannot do that this season.
No.
The margins are too small.
Exactly. And so, again, they got away with it tonight against the Bulls, but I don't think you'll see that against a team that they truly respect and know that can come in and take their butts.
Yeah.
So I don't think you'll see it.
Okay, all right. It's a YOLO night apparently. So go into your crush's DMs and let them know how you feel. Okay, well, let us know how it goes tomorrow. Okay, we'll see you back here in those YouTube comments. Thank you for watching. YOLO!